Ahoy and welcome to this Narrowboat adventure. This is just a quick Q&A video for you. So I've got some questions here. If I don't specifically say who asked the question, it's probably because I've been asked it quite a few times. One moment. The squeak wants to go out and play. Go on. Yes, I didn't think you want to go out in the snow. Okay. So the first question I have is from the Big Chip, and they asked about how do you get on with finding a doctor when you live on a narrowboat. So I've actually remained registered at the land practice that I used to go to, but actually that's becoming a bit of an issue because they've basically told me that if they ever have to send a letter to me and I don't reply, then they may well have to take me off of their details. And the house that I used to live in was rented and the landlord is tearing it down and redoing it. So basically that's kind of a really high likelihood for me at the moment. A couple of times I've wanted to see a doctor recently, and I've had issues because if I want, I've just phoned place after place as a place and nobody seems to register temporary patients anymore. So there are walk-in clinics, but you can take up to 4 hours to be seen in London, so that can be a bit of an issue. Like a couple of weeks ago I got the flu, and I didn't want to see a doctor because obviously it's just the flu. But then this week I've had this problem. I thought at first that it was a wisdom tooth issue, but I kind of realised after a few days that the pain wasn't actually in the tooth, it's in my jaw. Thankfully for me, I work about 6 months of the year. I get to do a little bit of role play for doctor's exams. So so one of my jobs is that I pretend to be sick for exams for GPs. So the examiners are all general practice doctors. I had one of them look at it and they told me what it was, but that would have been actually like a massive ordeal in a time where I'm really busy. I've had a lot of comments of how am I dealing with the beast from the east, and to be frank, actually not very well, because at the moment we're stuck on the bit of the canal with the oil spill that's shut off from everywhere else. There's no boats, no fuel boats coming past, so we've run out of water and fuel, and so we are having to kind of schlep to the nearest shop and bring fuel back that way. And they are running out quite quickly because there's quite a lot of people who are in that position. It's quite cold. It's not terribly pleasant. Obviously, we're running the fire, so when we're inside, it's fine. But running back and forth to the shops all the time is not great. There's lots of people recently have been commenting for me to go outside. And I just want to say to you guys, as I am stuck in one place at the moment and the videos are coming out pretty much in real time, I'm not going to post too many videos of stuff outside until I've moved because internet safety. I haven't had a chance to move the boat in over 6 weeks, and honestly it's driving me absolutely mad. I just don't want to stay in one place anymore. I want to move. I want to live my life. And so I'm sorry that there's not as much outside as I'd like, but it's very cold at the moment. I've got some really exciting things coming up actually. I'm going on a big trip and I'm going to do some boating in different kinds of boats in my big trip, but you'll have to wait and see for that. Dwight Turner has commented, how do people get through tunnels before there were engines in boats? Because before there were engines in boats, boats were pulled along by horses. Which obviously isn't possible in boats. And I think this is actually really interesting. I assumed that a lot of you probably would already know this, but how it used to happen is that there would be a plank of wood across the top of the boat and a man on each end, and then they would lay on their back and walk the boat through with their legs on the roof of the tunnel. Now this was very dangerous and a lot of people died where one person would fall off of the plank, and because the other person was pushing the opposite way, the person who fell off would be crushed between the boat and the wall of the tunnel. Oh, and John Carter commented, why do we have a tyre on our roof? Well, John, we use the tyres when we are in a place if there's any rocks or if the wall of the canal under the water is slanted, we just use the tyres to hold us a little bit further away from the towpath so that there's a bit of space between the boat and the floor. They do work very well for that. But yeah, some people find they make them list a little, but we don't. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye!